How did you manage to orange pill your whole board?
Well, first I did a lot of study on my own, and then I picked out the 3 most compelling videos on Bitcoin. And then I created a text message and I sent it to each board member and I said, I want you to look at all these things. This is your homework. And then I want a meeting with you. And then after that, after I'd met with all of them individually, I said, now we're calling a board meeting and we're going to discuss it. And over time, we all did the work. Then everybody realized, hey, this is the solution to the company's problems. And so it's worth the risk and the effort to move forward.
Did any of them say no?
No, amazingly, we were unanimous because we all did the
Crypto
work.
family, welcome back to the channel. Aaron here, coming back at you with another cryptocurrency video today. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We have new cryptocurrency videos coming out every single day. And in today's video, we'll be checking out some recent Bitcoin news here. And this is the breaking news of the day. The market has sold off a bit here because of this news. The SEC claims that the spot Bitcoin ETF filings are inadequate. So this isn't an outright rejection or a denial of the Bitcoin ETF. They're just saying they are inadequate. This is basically the filings from BlackRock, from Fidelity, from ARK, and some of these other filings out there as well. And the reason why is because of the surveillance sharing agreement. They're saying that there isn't enough information in the spot ETF applications regarding that. And then we can see from this tweet right here, the SEC wants to see this. And here's a clip from a couple of years ago that explains exactly what the SEC is looking for.
Gemini, Binance, whoever it may be, to send surveillance sharing agreements with the exchange it's listing on, so New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ, so that if a regulator comes in and wants to figure out what happened, they can see all trades that ever happened on those exchanges, which one is extremely expensive for those exchanges to do, to send to other people. Like they don't really want to open their books. Obviously, there's a lot of shady stuff happens in crypto. So depending on who you are, you might not want to do that. So the SEC has leaned heavily on this surveillance sharing agreement requirement, or a regulated market of significant size, which they haven't truly defined. So once that happens, that's when a spot Bitcoin ETF.
So as you can see, the SEC is really looking for that surveillance sharing agreement language in that document. So we could see Fidelity, BlackRock, ARK, all these other Bitcoin ETF filers change up some of the wording in their documents and refile for that Bitcoin spot ETF. That is something we could see very soon, over the next week potentially. And then this isn't anything new. We have been trying to get a Bitcoin ETF for over 10 years now. The first one was from the Winklevoss twins. They were the ones that filed for the first Bitcoin spot ETF. And it's kind of crazy that it's taken this long to get a spot Bitcoin ETF approved. It's something we've been waiting on for a very, very long time. There was a lot of hype around it back in 2021. Never happened. Definitely didn't happen in the bear market of 2022. Now that prices are going up, confidence is going up in Bitcoin, as a lot of the regulators are saying it's a commodity. It seems like the logical next step is to get that Bitcoin spot ETF approved, and we could see one get approved this year. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but there's also another part to this. Is this just manipulation to drive the price of Bitcoin down so that BlackRock, Fidelity, all these big institutions can get Bitcoin at a cheaper price? Because as soon as this news came out this morning, the price of Bitcoin fell a lot. And this is something that people are speculating, like, hey, this is just market manipulation. They want the price of Bitcoin down so they can get the cheap sats. Don't sell your Bitcoin. Hodl through this mess. A Bitcoin spot ETF will be here eventually. If it's not this year or next year, eventually they will approve a Bitcoin spot ETF. And I think the regulators want to do it sooner than later, because the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is really drying up. If you look over the past 3 years, we had around 2.9 million Bitcoin on exchanges. Currently, we have around 2.2 million Bitcoin on exchanges. So that's a loss of over 700,000 Bitcoin on exchanges in just 3 years. If we keep that same trend with the same amount of Bitcoin on exchanges, there won't be a lot of Bitcoin left over the next decade. It's trending towards zero. And when these big players come in, they're going to gobble up a lot more of this, take it from the exchanges like Fidelity, BlackRock, and ARK. And we could really see the price of Bitcoin skyrocket because of this, and we could see that supply shock. And I think this is why the regulators want to get in before it is too late, because it's inevitable at this point. As long as the government keeps printing money, diluting the value of the US dollar and dollars around the world, fiat currencies around the world, we're going to see the price of Bitcoin go up forever, because it is just basically digital math. It's getting more and more scarce. And as you can see, the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges is continuing to drop. And this is the HODL model. The Bitcoin mindset says the most important metric is the orange line plummeting. This means Bitcoin is being ripped off exchanges and supply is dwindling. Better have an accumulation plan. Definitely agree with him there. But you can see this is the HODL model. It's kind of just projecting in the future the available supply for trade of Bitcoin. And as that continues to go down, what is that going to do to the price? It's going to drive the price higher because there won't be a lot of Bitcoin available for trade. A lot of it will be in cold storage wallets, in the hodlers' hands. And we're seeing Michael Saylor continuing to buy Bitcoin. They just accumulated a lot more. You have Tether putting all of their profits into buying Bitcoin. And I mean, just retail investors just continue to hit all-time highs for people that have Bitcoin wallet addresses over 0.01, 0.11, and 10 Bitcoin. It just continues to hit new all-time highs. So more and more people are opting into Bitcoin, and this is going to put a strain on the supply in the future. But in other news, you can see here, the UK just passed a bill recognizing Bitcoin and crypto as a regulated financial activity. And this is good to see. We're getting regulation for crypto in the UK. This is worldwide adoption, international adoption. And this is something we've heard Raul Paulo say on some interviews we've watched. And he believes they're kind of going to do an arbitrage on the United States, as the US is so slow to get all this crypto regulation. They're dragging their feet. The SEC is suing Coinbase for selling unregistered securities. They're calling Cardano, Binance, all these other coins out there unregistered securities. And while all that is happening, the UK is silently saying, hey, we want your crypto business here. Bring it to the UK. Because they know the future of Bitcoin and the future of crypto. They believe it will be around. They want the money in the UK. And unfortunately, the United States is losing this race. But it is good to see that the UK is becoming a regulatory haven for a lot of these companies like Coinbase. So if they need to leave the US, they probably will end up in like London. So that is good to see. And it's going to be interesting to see how the US reacts to all this as they're pushing away innovation in the crypto space. Other countries are adopting it. And that's all I really have for you guys in today's video. If you found any value, make sure to hit that like button. Leave your thoughts on what you think the SEC is going to do with all these Bitcoin ETFs. Are they going to get approved? Are they going to get rejected? Is BlackRock going to amend their Bitcoin ETF? Let me know what you guys think about all that in the comment section below. And thanks again for watching to the end. My name is Aaron from Bitcoin Bros. I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.